Your legs may sense weaker, slower, or only a little greater worn out than they used to. However, what if I instructed you? The real purpose isn't your age, it is your fruit bowl, sure truly a quiet mistake hiding in your kitchen, may be silently draining the electricity out of your thighs, weakening your stability and making every step a little shakier in keeping with the knee. 1 in 3 seniors over 65 is already scuffling with sarcopenia, a circumstance that reasons muscle to melt away like snow on a heat day and now stunning. 2025 research revealed that sure culmination may be accelerating that loss without you even understanding it. I am no longer pronouncing you must prevent ingesting fruit. Totally, however, a number of the maximum harmless searching culmination are quietly flooding your frame with sugar, breaking down collagen to your joints and sparking the sort of irritation that turns constant legs into jelly. On this video, we are diving into 7 culmination that could appear in Scandi, however may be sabotaging your leg electricity. With each chunk you will need to stick round until the cease, due to the fact fruit number 3 has been scientifically related to a 3-fold boom in muscle fatigue and calcium loss in getting older adults, and possibilities are it is already to your kitchen. Earlier than we get into it, I might like to hear from you. What fruit do you devour the maximum nowadays? Drop it with inside the feedback below and I will respond with whether or not it is helping or hurting your legs. And of root, do not overlook to hit that subscribe button and be part of us. Right? Here at Fitness 365, wherein your fitness, happiness, and independence matter greater than ever. All proper. Let's begin with the primary fruit at the listing. It is candy watery, and you have got likely eaten it on a warm summertime season day without a second notion. Watermelon can also additionally look like a fresh, harmless deal, especially on a heat day. However, after 65, it can quietly be sabotaging your leg electricity. You see, watermelon has a glycemic index of 80. It truly is better than a slice of white. Watermelon is made of over 90% water, which sounds hydrating. However, it additionally means it is missing in key vitamins your muscle tissue crave, like magnesium, calcium, and protein. On pinnacle of that, watermelon filled with fructose, a form of sugar that your liver has to procedure earlier than your muscle tissue, may even use it in seniors, especially people with even slight fatty liver, a completely not unusual circumstance after 6. This procedure turns into slow, the result greater irritation, greater insulin resistance, and much less strength attaining your leg muscle tissue once they want it. Maximum A. Examine posted with inside the magazine Vitamins in 2019. Tracked over 1,000 older adults. It determined that excessive fructose fruit consumption, specifically from low nutrient density culmination like watermelon, become directly related to decreased strolling velocity and grip electricity. Members with the highest fructose consumption had substantially weaker, decreased frame overall performance, and slower recuperation from day-by-day haba. So what can you do? You do not want to swear off watermelon all the time. However, component manage is fundamental. Consider it as an occasional deal with no longer a everyday snack. In case you're going to revel in a chunk of watermelon, by no means eat it on my own on an empty belly. Rather pair it with a small handful of almonds or some spoonfuls of Greek yogurt. That blend will assist gradual sugar absorption and maintain your muscle mass fueled for longer. Now, which you realize the hidden fee of this summertime favored. Let's pass to the following one. A. Apparently healthful dependency that pours natural sugar straight into your bloodstream and drains your power with each sip. Fruit juice may put on a fitness halo, in particular, the ones categorized 100% herbal or no sugar. Introduced, however, for seniors, it is able to be one of the sneakiest threats on your leg power. After 60, your frame turns into less green, a processing sugar, and that glass of juice you sip with inside the morning. It may be flooding your machine with sugar, some distance quicker than your muscle mass can handle. Here is why: whilst fruit is juiced, it is stripped of all its herbal fiber. That fiber is not simply filler. It acts like a shielding defense, slowing down how quick the sugars input your bloodstream. Without it, even the sugar from herbal fruit will become a fast soaking up glucose bomb. Your blood sugar spikes inside mins, your insulin overreacts, and your muscle mass stop receiving consistent, usable strength. Rather, they may be hit with an on and off roller coaster that promotes infection and hurries up muscle loss, in particular on your legs. But is not simply idea. A 2021 study with Inside, the magazine of medical endocrinology and metabolism, accompanied seniors over 65 who frequently drank fruit juice compared to people who ate complete fruit. The juice drinkers had 34% better fasting blood sugar, or 22% more threat of insulin resistance, and maximum strikingly a 21% quicker price of leg muscle atrophy. That's proper juice, even self-made or cold pressed, can silently put on away the very muscle mass that maintain you status walking imbalanced. What is extra liquid sugar does not cause the fullness sensors in your belly. You could effortlessly drink the equal of 4 or 5 oranges in one glass without knowing it. That extra sugar received saved as stomach fats, which in flip increases infection and interferes with the muscle alerts. manage posture and motion. Over time, meaning slower steps, extra stiffness, or even better fall threat. So what should you do? Rather it is easy, ditch the juice. Even the healthful ones, rather eat the complete fruit with the peel whilst viable, and usually pair it with something that includes healthful fats or protein like walnuts or undeniable Greek yogurt in case you crave something clean, mild with inside the morning attempt. Fruit-infused water with cucumber, lemon, or mint. You'll live hydrated and happy without spiking your blood sugar or draining your power subsequent up. Is a fruit that is probably hiding on your pantry. Proper now, gentle candy and deceptively risky to your joints and mobility. Let's speak approximately a pantry staple that seems innocent: canned fruit and syrup. It is handy, gentle, clean to bite, and frequently advertised as mild or packed in herbal juice. However, do not be fooled for seniors over 60. Those sugary little cups are one of the quickest approaches to lose leg strength, drain your electricity, and harm the very joints that guide your motion. Why maximum canned culmination are stripped of their skins, cooked at excessive temperatures, after which soaked in heavy syrup made with excessive fructose corn syrup or refined sugars. What is left isn't always actual fruit. It is greater like sugar soap. Fiberless mush without the herbal fiber to gradual digestion. The sugar enters your bloodstream like a freight teach, pushing your insulin into overdrive. The end result: glucose spikes, crashes, infection, and a frame that turns sugar into stomach fat as opposed to muscle gasoline. Worse, but this sort of excessive fructose sugar actively destroys collagen on your joints and accelerates the breakdown of muscle tissue, specifically within inside the legs, hips, and ankles. A predominant 2020 examine posted in Nutrient discovered that seniors who ate up canned culmination greater than 2 times per week had a 38% better hazard of growing mobility obstacles. The researchers cited that persistent sugar-induced infection damages mitochondria, the energy centers inner your muscle cells, made a slower restore, much less electricity output, an ongoing weak spot with inside the decreased frame, and it is now no longer pretty much what is with inside the can. It is approximately what is lacking: nutrition, see potassium and folate, crucial for muscle coordination and collagen. Manufacturing are frequently destroyed with inside the canning process, the quit end result. A gentle snack that might experience comforting, however leaves your legs worn out, your joints achy, and your frame undernourished. What are you able to do? Bypass the syrup-soaked stuff altogether. In case you love canned fruit, transfer to alternatives categorized in water or no brought sugar. Even higher, choose sparkly, entire culmination or frozen varieties without a sweeteners, and usually examine the label. If it says in Syrah, recognize that it is now no longer a deal with, it is a entice. Now let's move directly to a fruit. It really has been praised as a healthful snack for many years. However, hides one of the maximum unfavorable sugar compounds for getting old legs. Raisins can also additionally appearance innocent, tiny, chewy, clary candy. However, do not let their length idiot you. For seniors over 60, those dried little culmination can quietly create a really perfect typhoon enter your frame, one which weakens leg muscle tissue, stiffens joints, and will increase your hazard of falls. And the worst element: they are frequently advertised as healthful snacks or tossed into morning oatmeal without a second concept. This is the trouble. Raisins are basically grapes with all of the water eliminated, in which means their sugar is concentrated. Only a small handful can comprise over 20 g of sugar, maximum of it with inside the shape of glucose and fructose. And not like sparkling grapes, raisins have nearly no water or fiber to gradual down the absorption. So while you devour them, your blood sugar rises swiftly, like sweet, and your insulin follows through the years. This consistent glucose coaster wears out your frame's capacity to supply power wherein its wanted maximum. Your legs. They have a look at with inside the magazine of gerontology tracked older adults over 60 and discovered that the ones who skilled excessive post-meal blood sugar spikes had extensively weaker leg electricity and slower taking walks speeds. However, it would not prevent their raisins additionally include something known as a long time advanced glycation. Sees merchandise. Those are compounds fashioned whilst sugars bind to proteins with inside the frame, especially collagen. A long time actually stiffen your joints, lessen flexibility to your tendons, and spark irritation with inside the muscular tissues that preserve you status tall and taken walks constant. Even greater regarding many raisins are processed with vegetable oils or sulfites, additives that may aggravate the intestine, disrupt digestion, and motive systemic irritation. For older adults with touchy stomachs or autoimmune situations, that may mean aching knees, infected nerves, and weakened posture. So what need do you attain? For alternatively, in case you're craving something candy and chewy, attempt thin slices of clean apple with almond butter or some frozen berries. They deliver you antioxidants and fiber without the sugar bomb. And in case you love raisins to your path, blender baked items, attempt cutting again slowly or changing them with chopped prunes or dates in very small quantities. Nonetheless, candy, however, with greater vitamins and a slower sugar launch up subsequent We are heading to the tropics with a fruit that can appear to be a healthy desire. However, quietly floods your liver with sugar and steals your electricity one slice at a time. Pineapple frequently comes throughout because the golden toddler of tropical end result, juicy, colorful, and packed with dietary. However, for seniors, especially the ones worried with muscle fitness and mobility, pineapple is probably doing greater damage than good underneath its candy. Sunny outside hides one of the maximum fructose hundreds among not unusualist end result. And for end getting old, frame it is wherein the hassle starts. Affable fructose is metabolized, very otherwise from glucose. It would not pass immediately into your bloodstream as gas. Alternatively, it detours through the liver, which has to convert it earlier. Then your muscular tissues can use it for older adults, especially people with fatty liver, a circumstance affecting over 60% of seniors with diabetes or pre-diabetes. This metabolic method turns into sluggish and strained. The end result, alternatively, of turning into power that sugar is turned into fats main too. In addition, liver harm, insulin resistance, and irritation. A pivotal have a look at in diabetes care. Followed older adults ingesting diets excessive in fructose, wealthy end result. The findings were people had a 2.5 instances better chance of growing lower frame frailty, which means weaker legs, slower restoration, and better dependence on help to stroll or stand. The researchers additionally stated that pineapple, because of its excessive fructose content material and medium glycemic index of almost 60, turned into the various pinnacle offenders. Even worse, those sugar surges harm the tiny blood vessels and nerves that deliver your legs and FT over time. It's now no longer simply approximately susceptible muscular tissues. It is approximately numbness, tingling, and instability, and at the same time as some decline. Pineapple has anti-inflammatory houses way to an enzyme known as the impact is unassuming at best and regularly outweighed through the sugar overload, specifically in canned or juiced variations. In case you experience tropical flavors, there may be a higher desire papaya. It is decreased in sugar, better in fiber, and has been proven in diabetic research to reduce infection. However, if pineapple is a normal visitor at your desk, specifically in fruit salads or smoothies, it is able to be undermining your efforts to live strong and impartial now that we have got peeled. Again, the reality in this tropical trap, let's flow directly to any other fruit, tender, candy, and complete of taste that will become more and more risky the riper it gets. Mango is regularly known as the king of end result, and for right motive. It is fragrant, flavorful, and wealthy in nutrients. However, once it will become overripe, turning tender and syrupy, it transforms right into a silent enemy of your leg electricity, specifically for adults over 60. That juicy sweetness you experience it hides a sugar bomb that your growing old frame might also additionally now no longer be prepared to cope with. 1 cup of sliced overripe mango incorporates over 45 g of sugar that is extra than what you would get in a can of soda. The herbal sugars, by and large, fructose, rush into your bloodstream with little resistance, spiking insulin and triggering a storm of infection. And in contrast to more youthful our bodies that can fast burn off sugar or keep it effectively growing old, our bodies regularly struggle. The pancreas produces insulin extra slowly, muscle cells face up the sugar uptake, and the extra glucose floats round, inflicting harm. One of the maximum risky consequences is a manner known as glycation. This occurs while sugar molecules bind to proteins on your frame, specifically the critical constructing block of muscular tissues and joints. Glycation hardens and damages those proteins, making your knees much less bendy, your tendons stiffer, and your muscular tissues slower to respond. A 2021 examine posted in Frontiers in Endocrinology observed that seniors ingesting excessive fructose end result like overripe mango noticed a 32% decline in leg muscle density and a measurable loss in on-foot velocity inside only some weeks. What is worse, fructose encourages the formation of the one's equal advanced glycation, give up merchandise, we noted with raisins, which inflame the connective tissues around your joints and nerves, which means now no longer simply weaker legs, however, also extra stiffness, tingling, and a much better danger of falls. Now, does this mean you may by no means experience mango? Once more now, no longer always, the trick lies in timing and pairing. Keep away from ingesting mango whilst it is overly tender or syrupy. The ones are the ones filled with speedy appearing sugar. Instead, experience less assailable, simply ripe mango in small quantities, and continually integrate it with a stabilizer, Greek yogurt flour, flaxseed, or some walnuts to buffer the sugar effect. However, in case you're already feeling shaky whilst on foot or your legs take longer to get better after pastime, reputedly wholesome fruit is probably quietly fueling the decline, and up subsequent is a fruit that's even extra, not unusual, located in almost each kitchen that can be the maximum deceptive of all of them. Bananas are loved, they may be lower priced, clean to digest, and frequently praised because the ideal post-exercise snack. However, for seniors, mainly the ones over 65, suffering with leg fatigue or balance problems, this normal fruit can be doing extra damage than good. The reality is, Bananas mainly. The ripe, tender ones with brown spots are loaded with speedy performing sugars, which could quietly weaken your leg muscle tissues over the years. A unmarried ripe banana includes more or less 14 grams of sugar, on the whole with inside the shape of glucose and fructose due to the fact that it is certainly low in fiber mainly as soon as over. The sugar is digested and absorbed unexpectedly main to a pointy rise in blood glucose. Your frame releases insulin to address it, however. As we age, that insulin reaction will become slower and less green. What follows is a fast crash, leaving your muscle tissues underfueled and fatigued, and it would not prevent there. Bananas have a excessive glycemic load that means they could drastically impact blood sugar even in mild quantities. A 2019 Observe posted in Frontiers in Endocrinology tested older adults and located that people with diets excessive in glycemic load had considerably lower quadricep power, poorer balance, manipulate and decreased muscle endurance, even if their calorie consumption was taken into consideration. Wholesome, any other problem lies in the potassium fable. Even as it is actual that bananas comprise potassium ingesting, many can backfire mainly in seniors with decreased kidney characteristic, which is not unusual. After 60 extra potassium that the frame cannot well clear out may also make a contribution to muscle cramps, irregular heartbeat, or maybe slowed movement. In the meantime, bananas lack vital amino acids and magnesium vitamins your muscle tissues rely on for power and right contraction. So ought to you avoid bananas altogether now. No longer always the key is selecting the proper type and pairing it accurately, as opposed to tender sugary bananas. Pick inexperienced or simply ripened ones. Those comprise extra resistant starch, which digests slower and has a gentler impact on blood sugar, and by no means consume them on their very own. Upload a smear of peanut butter, some almonds or chia seeds to sluggish absorption and maintain your power regular. Now that you have visible all 7 end result that quietly weaken your legs, let's wrap matters up with a warm reminder and some easy subsequent steps to maintain you taking walks robust and regular. So, here is the reality among the end result we have got relied on for many years. Those we idea had been nourishing can be silently operating towards us after 60 now, no longer due to the fact fruit is horrific. However, due to the fact our bodies have modified what as soon as gave us power might now go away, as susceptible what as soon as seemed innocent. Actually, however, here's the coolest information. You have the energy to select in a different way. A few easy swaps. A chunk greater awareness. It's all it takes to shield your legs, your stability, and your independence. You do not need to worry fruit. You simply have to be smarter approximately at each step you take. Each time you get up with ease is a small victory, and people victories. Upload up your legs, convey your existence. Let's deal with them with the honor they deserve. If this video helped open your eyes, I'd like to pay attention from you. Drop a remark beneath and inform me which fruit surprised you, the maximum, or which one you will be reducing lower back on. I study each remark, and if you would like greater science-backed suggestions to assist you live sturdy, healthful, and happy properly into your golden years, do not forget to love this video and subscribe to Fitness 365. Due to the fact getting old does not imply fading, it approach mastering the way to shine smarter each unmarried day. Thanks for spending time with me these days. Contend with your legs and contend with you.